You need to look into it. By the way, here's the exact number of votes necessary for me to win by. Like, come on.
And
if Joe Biden and Hillary didn't,
if Joe Biden did the same thing, I would not care.
I would believe if Joe Biden did the same thing, I would think he should not be allowed to run for president again.
What is your stance on the potential indictment of Donald Trump?
I don't know. I'd have to see how the case would play out until I had really a larger opinion outside of like the guy obviously committed a crime. Whether or not it's I think the debate on is if it's a crime worth imprisonment if it gets moved up to campaign finance law, I believe. And I guess,
does the state have any jurisdiction over that?
Does the state have?
Because right now, what they're trying to convict, what they're alleging, is, well, first of all, it's already been debunked in a letter. But
it's been debunked in a letter.
There was a letter actually put out by Cohen's law firm that actually stated that Trump did never instructed it. In fact, he never even paid back the $130,000. There in the state of New York, this charge would be a misdemeanor at best, but they're actually trying to elevate it to a felony. But the federal election commission, they looked at it. The DOJ's already turned down prosecuting this. This is actually a federal jurisdiction. Do you think it's fine for political opponents to be targeted and things like that, or?
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Okay.
Are you okay with the precedent
this is setting? Okay. You've asked me like 5 different questions. Like, what questions do you want me to answer?
Are you okay? Are you okay with this precedence that is being set where a state can try to enforce federal law? Question 1. Question 2. Are you okay with the precedence it sets for trying to imprison political opponents? And do you think that this is actually a worthy and just action? Simple.
As for the first one, I just don't know enough about, I guess, the specific or like the federal crossover law to really answer this. I'd be very surprised if the Manhattan DA is straight up like going out of the jurisdiction to an extent where this is like it's illegal to do what they're doing. If that is the case, then all they're going to do is give Donald Trump a boost and he's going to become the next president of the United States. If it's just like we're politically persecuting you because we can't do this, but we're going to do it anyway, and then that's going to help Trump. So I highly doubt that they're doing that. It wouldn't make any fucking sense. Even if it was politically motivated, all he would be doing is giving Trump a boost. As for the question of
Alan Dershowitz has come out and stated
you've asked me like 3 questions.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Okay,
yeah, it's just like if you want in the future, just ask one question at a time because I don't want to forget anything, and then you've asked me a question I didn't answer.
Yeah.
So the second question, as for am I fine with the precedent this sets? Yeah. I'm not. I believe that politicians should probably be in handcuffs more often. I think a lot of times their positions of power, influence, and money get them out of trouble. And so things that would usually be something that comes with criminal charges is now something that they can just kind of blow off because they're very rich and powerful, not even worth the effort. Even though if I go out and I smoke a joint, that could come with prison time. And it's not nearly as bad as some of the horrendous things that a lot of our political leaders do. And so if Donald Trump committed a crime, and I do believe he has committed crimes, whether this specific thing is going to be able to be a crime of a magnitude that isn't just like a misdemeanor that could actually see him do a perp walk, that's something that I don't think has necessarily been proven, but I'm going to wait for the Manhattan DA to reach a conclusion, give me their explanation, then I'm going to read it and then I'll come to that conclusion. But I'm not angry about the idea of a political figure getting arrested or being held accountable for their actions. I think something that Trump should have been held accountable for is calling Georgian election officials and trying to get them to find the votes so he wins the 2020 election. That shit.
Yeah, there's a little bit more context to that. So there's a lot more context to that. Yes, there is.
Okay,
according to the transcripts, he didn't say go find it. The quote is, I know there's fraud out there, you need to find it. He didn't say go find it for me or anything like that. It's you're playing a semantic game.
You're lying.
Just like no, I'm not.
Do you want to listen to the audio? We can do it right now.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Okay, awesome. Because what I remember is he's saying, oh, get, all this fraud is so terrible. I really won. I need these many votes to win. Go find the votes. Go find the fraud. What he's saying there is he's giving them the exact number of votes he needs to win the election and then asking him to go find it. Let's go listen to it. Let's see if I can find it.
Okay.
If I can.
So so you're okay with arresting people for breaking the law. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Are you okay with that?
What is? Yeah. They legitimately have broken the law. Things like that.
Yeah, because you were calling for the imprisonment of like all the people earlier on the Jan 6 committee.
Yes, because they are actively breaking the law by withholding evidence to defenses and stuff. That's actually violation of people's human and constitutional rights. So I also believe that, you know, Hillary Clinton should be in prison for the storage of classified documents when she
Do you believe
had
Donald Trump should be in prison?
Actually, because of his executive authority, that's the gray area I'm not informed enough on to make a pure legal call. But from my understanding, since the president of the United States can declassify anything at any time, that's a gray area that I can't make a definite on. But Senator Biden should be in prison under those standards as well, because he stored a bunch of classified stuff with actual, if I remember right, had like some like shit like he had no reason having in that deal. So now President Biden, you know, because but the interesting thing that I find about all this is that a local DA, a Manhattan DA, it's not like this is a like
I got the audio.
Okay.
If you want me to play it. Okay, 1 second. Trump urges Georgia. Do you just want the hard audio, or do you want like a news segment on it?
Let's just hear the audio. I mean,
Okay.
I don't want to hear what a pundit has to say. I want to hear what was said.
Okay, I can just play the audio, or do you need me to like share screens and do that? I can play the audio and you can go to stream and listen to it, or do you want to?
Do you have a way to just pipe it, share it in here?
Yeah, sure. I'll share screens quick.
Yeah. Just that way I can hear it.
I think the section includes this is only a 2-minute clip, so it might not include everything, but this is like the one that I can find. It's just hard audio. Tell me when you're watching and I'll play it.
Go ahead, sir.
Look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state, and flipping the state is a great testament to our country, because, you know, there's just, it's a testament that they can admit to a mistake, or whatever you want to call it, if it was a mistake, I don't know.
If we could just go over some of the numbers, I think it's pretty clear that we won. We won very substantially, Georgia. We have at least 2 or 3, anywhere from 250 to 300,000 ballots were dropped mysteriously into the rolls. Much of that had to do with Fulton County, which hasn't been checked. We think that if you check the signatures, a real check of the signatures going back in Fulton County, you'll find at least a couple of 100,000 of forged signatures. The bottom line is when you add it all up, and then you start adding, you know, 300,000 fake ballots, then the other thing they said is in Fulton County and other areas, and this may or may not be true, this just came up this morning, that they are burning their ballots, that they are shredding ballots and removing equipment. They're changing the equipment on the Dominion machines, and you know then that's not legal. And they supposedly shredded, I think they said 3,000 pounds of ballots, and that just came to.
I think we get the point. Not only was none of the stuff, I think basically none of the stuff he said substantiated later by evidence or something that the Republican government of Georgia was able to find, but what he said at the start there, I think is the clearest indication. He said the exact number of votes they needed to find in order for him to flip the state. They needed to find those many votes. Like, that's a clear indication of like, hey, I'm the real winner, find these amount of votes, and then look, I'll be the winner, and then I'll flip the state, and then it'll be a great testament to the country. That sounds to me like he is basically giving them exact instructions to go find the votes necessary for him to win. Why such a specific number? just one vote more than what was necessary for him to win the election at that time.
I mean, he knows how many he was behind. I still didn't hear a "you go find this for me." He said, "We're
You
just
didn't
this
hear
far
that?
behind." No, I didn't.
No, okay.
I didn't
Can we
hear
play?
him say,
Okay, let me play the start
Oh,
again.
go ahead, play.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
play.
you
Let's
really
one more
wanna-
time. Yeah, one more time. Yeah, one more time.
Okay.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state, and flipping the state is a great testament to our country, because
Now stop right there. That's all you got to do.
It's just a,
Yeah, like that is him very clearly telling them that, look, look, I got to get these votes. You got to find me these votes.
But that doesn't sound like he's telling someone you have to do this.
You think he was going to just say, hey, commit this crime for me directly? Like, this is as direct as he can get. This is as direct as he can get, and this is still way more direct than should be legal, and he did it very clearly.
This is just like
like
saying, hold on, this is just like saying we need to fight for blah blah blah. Is that a call to arms?
Should we be to fight? Not necessarily, but this right here, very clearly. And I can tell you why. In this call, he is trying to convince them. This call, he is trying to convince them constantly that he's the real winner of the election, right? He's going on and on and on and on and on, but he's the real winner, and he says a bunch of shit that was all nonsense, but he tries to justify it, right? He tries to justify that actually there was 300,000 fraudulent votes. He's throwing out numbers, completely not true. And he says, here's the exact number. He gives the exact number necessary for him to win the election. He says that he wants to find those votes. I need you guys to fix this mistake. If it's a mistake, it'll be a great testament to the country. That is him indicating to them that that's what he wants. If Hillary Clinton during 2016 called the government of North Carolina or whatever, I think Florida, she called the government of Florida and she said, look, these how many votes I am down. And I need to find these many votes to win. There's so much corruption, so all this stuff. Fix the mistake. If she did that, you would be going on and on and on and on and on, rightfully, about how she's a criminal and needs to be locked up for that crime. And that's terrible. I can't believe she's going to try to use Obama's government to do this. This is so clear. This is so clear.
I don't think that things like saying we need to fight is a call to arms in a political stance in the political arena. I don't think what he called there was a direct call to violate campaign laws or anything like that. I think it's a point of view thing, Dylan.
No, he was trying to manipulate the results of the election. That is what he was trying to do. He was trying to steal the election.
There was actually,
you know how funny that is?
No way.
Isn't that funny that is that he says it's going to be rigged against him and he tries to rig it against Joe Biden?
But here's the deal. There is no way he can do that because who's in charge of the election systems?
Yeah, but he still tried. Just because he didn't succeed doesn't mean he didn't try.
There is no way that he can do it.
But that's the only reason it didn't happen.
I am giving you my honest what I'm hearing. It's not like he is telling anyone to go break any laws by any means. It is people. You're being semantically fickle on this.
Are you telling me that if 2024 rolls around and there's one state, like Joe Biden is losing by one state, and he calls the Democratic Party people down there, the people who are Democrats, and he calls them and he says, hey, I need to win 1,392 votes, okay? Fix the mistake. There's all this fraud, all this terrible stuff. I need you to fix the mistake, the exact amount of votes necessary for me to win. Will you be like, no, that's fine. It's perfectly okay.
If he came out and said exactly what you just said, I need you to fix this for me to win, which
he said, Trump said this, and then later said, you just need to fix the mistake. Fix the mistake. People won't care. He said
we need to flip the state. That would be great. Now I am being precise.
What does we mean? What does we mean? Who's the we? Because in my mind, we means Trump and the people in the call.
So the way that I looked at it, the way in the context in which he was speaking, the way I'm looking at it is we as Americans. But hey, you can say I'm being hyper partisan on that.
Oh, so he was including Joe Biden in the idea that we needed to flip the state. He was including all the Democrats that voted for Joe Biden. That's silly. When he said he was indicating the other people in the call.
So I don't. So you can call an actual lawyer, call Pisco. I'm sure he'll try to echo what you're saying. But
like
when
this should
pin him down on the
disqualify him as a
technicality of
candidate.
the law,
This should disqualify him as ever running for office again.
Why?
Because
Why?
this is him directly trying to rig an election. That is what he is attempting to do here.
Wait. What can disqualify a U.S. citizen from running?
I am telling you, I think somebody should be disqualified if they attempt to rig a U.S. election.
Constitutionally, what can?
Oh, fuck, what is it? What can disqualify somebody? Whatever it is, I think it should include this.
Open rebellion and or insurrection. That's why the whole insurrection thing with January 6th exists. It's a wording game. And
do you think that people who try to rig U.S. elections should be allowed to run for president?
I think, unfortunately, Joe Exotic can run for president. I don't think he tried to rig an election.
Well, asking for them to find being like, look, we need to find we need to find the stuff necessary for me to win, and it gives the exact number. I mean, that was like so deliberate.
Number that he was short.
This is like I walk up to a drug dealer and I said, hypothetically, if I was going to buy cocaine at the market value of $1,392 for all of that cocaine right over there that I'm pointing towards right now, and I have that exact amount in my back pocket. This is like as clear as it could possibly be what he's trying to do here.
Well, I don't see any breaking of laws.
I'm not. Wait. I'm not asking you. I'm not even asking you if this is necessarily breaking the law. I'm asking you if is he clearly trying to influence them to find him the votes to make him the winner?
No, he is telling them to that he believes that there is fraud in this area. He wants them to find it. He wants them to investigate.
Why did it give them the exact number necessary for him to win? If it was just about if it was just about finding the fraud in the state, then the thing that you would do is be like, hey, I heard there's a lot of fraud. I want to make sure every vote is counted, every legitimate vote is counted. But he's giving them the exact number,
the exact ballots being shredded. I'm getting reports of 3,000 pounds of ballots being shredded. That's illegal. True. If they actually did that, that would be illegal. You need to look into that. We need to do signature verification. That is a common practice for verification of mail-in ballots and things like that. Even when you go to sign in at your local,
300,000 fraudulent ballots. That was complete nonsense.
But he didn't say we have definitive proof. He's like, we're hearing this. You need to look into it.
You need to look into it. By the way, here's the exact number of votes necessary for me to win by. Like, come on.
And
if Joe Biden and Hillary didn't,
if Joe Biden did the same thing, I would not care.
I would believe if Joe Biden did the same thing, I would think he should not be allowed to run for president again.
Yeah, I don't care if there's no law broken. And by the way, there's only way that you can be disqualified as a U.S. citizen. Wait. Let me ask you a question. As a natural-born U.S. citizen to be barred from running is you participate in insurrection or open rebellion.
I think that's stupid. I think it should be extended to if you try to rig an election.
That's what the Constitution says. Okay, have to change it.
I never said the Constitution said this. I said it. This is what I believe. Yeah. Okay. Because the Constitution can be changed. I'm thinking it should be changed.
Yes, it can be changed.
But the thing is,
I agree.
Okay. So, do you think it should be legal for somebody to call an election official and tell them to find the votes necessary for them to win and hang up? Do you think that should be legal?
I think it's perfectly legal to call an election official and say,
asking, no. You're not answering my question. You're dodging. You are dodging. I'm asking. Let me ask the same question again, and you're going to dodge it again. I can feel it from a mile away. If the president of the United States is running for election and he calls an election official and he says, find me the exact amount of votes for me to win, click, should that be legal?
Yeah, I'm not seeing a problem.
Then you're fine with elections being rigged by the president of the United States. That's what I just heard. You're fine with presidents trying to rig an election.
What has any president done directly, and what control do they have over state elections?
If you call in a party official of somebody of a similar party and you tell them to do something for you, right? if they don't do something for you, that can come with major political repercussions. And now you're an election official and you're allowing partisan politics to influence whether you certify or don't certify an election, whether you throw out these ballots or you keep these ballots, whether you accept these signatures or don't accept these signatures. And that is very dangerous. Like the idea of Joe Biden using his influence as the Democratic governor over Pennsylvania to make sure that he wins the state is a very scary thing. That type of partisan politics should not be playing any role, if and not even a major role, but major role definitely not, but any role at all when election officials are reviewing the official documents once everything is said and done. Not allowing partisan politics and possible political repercussions to come into their calculations. And that is when when the president of the United States, a very influential person in your party, calls you and tells you to do something or asks you to do something and said, this is what I think would be good for us. That's going to come with possible repercussions if you say no to him. Not to mention the fact that when we're talking about Georgia, what happened to all the people in Georgia who defied Trump on this? What happened to them? Trump attacked them endlessly. He attacked Bryant, the governor of Georgia, attacked many of the election staff of Georgia endlessly since then, because he is saying that they're part of the reason the election was stolen. So he is now making good on the political repercussion of not finding him the votes to win.
Okay. I mean, that's why you need to vote in principled local politicians, man. That's actually why you should vet all the politicians you vote for. So you don't vote blue no matter who are red before
so
you're
we
dead
should
or
just
anything stupid like that.
So we should
you
just
should actually vote for principled people.
So we should vote and hope and not place any legislation, no legal consequence on somebody trying to make them just win the ballot by influencing the people who count the ballots.
So there's influence that happens direct or indirect, no matter what.
But it's so different. It's so direct when you're saying, "Get me these votes."
What about areas that don't allow bipartisan viewership of the count? Should that be fine?
Should that be fine? I assume,
is that legal?
I think bipartisan viewership of the count should be allowed. I think that's perfectly fine.
I think it should be mandatory. But in areas like Detroit, that was not allowed. In fact, they wouldn't allow the counters to even watch.
What does this have to do with what I'm saying?
So what I'm saying is the way things are done on partisan basis all the time. I may not like them, but they're not illegal. Now, what Trump said was not illegal.
It is.
It is not illegal. Should it be illegal? That's up to the people of the state of Georgia.
I'm asking you if it should be illegal to call.
I don't think it should.
You don't think it should be illegal? Okay.
No.
Then the Democratic strategy in 2024 should be calling the governor of Pennsylvania and just saying, "Look, just make me win," and then be done.
Look, the Republican strategy, from my understanding, is ballot harvesting. That's.
But no, don't you see a problem with the president of the United States calling a governor or calling any election official and saying, "Make me fucking win," click, and you're saying there should be no legal repercussions from that? They're trying to rig the system.
I think it's unethical, but it's not illegal.
It should be illegal. It should be illegal. Not only should it be illegal, it should be like a crime that gets you like possible decades in prison. It should be something that people don't even consider doing because they think of the consequences.
I think politics is a dirty game, my man.
But we should try to make it as clean as possible so we have a good functioning democracy. You want to know what a dirty democracy looks like? Oligarchies. You don't want to live in an oligarchy. We have to bribe a cop to not get arrested for wrong reasons. How do we clean it? I think part of the thing is trying to remove partisan influence in the people who count the vote or try to tally the votes. I think that's something that should not be there. And you are saying it should be legal to do that.
How do we do that?
By going after those who try to use partisan influence to control the results of elections.
So politics is usually downstream of culture, but when politics have become cultural, and the bulk of your income bets on that, being a political streamer and stuff, that's proof politics have become more of a cultural thing now. Finding nonpartisan people is very hard to do. Finding honest nonpartisan people is probably
that's why it needs to come with legal repercussions, because we cannot just leave it up to we just voted for the totally moral man, because there's a lot of immoral people in politics, and we need laws in place to stop them from abusing our system or our people.
Okay. So, do you have any policy prescriptions that could help with that?
I would have thought this would already be illegal, but if somebody tries to influence the governor of a state to just make them win the election, like find me the votes, make me the winner, click, that should be illegal. That should not only invalidate you from running for the office again, but that should also probably come with prison time.
Okay, cool. Who controls who runs the election of the state?
Who runs the election on the state? Usually the Secretary of State, but that's not always the case. It depends on like the specific state, but it's usually the Secretary of State.
So you now, I actually believe that the Secretary of State was privy to those calls. I don't know if he was on them, but supposedly that was with the governor. So if he was talking to the governor about that, would he really be talking to the right man?
Just because Trump's stupid, that doesn't stop his bad attempt at trying to...
Okay. So I actually have policy prescriptions for this.
Okay.
Very simple. First of all, utilize the 10th Amendment, because states control their elections. Secondly, remove all foreign ownership of land.
Okay, so the foreign ownership of...
the third?
Okay.
Can you guess what the third is?
What's the third?
Non-landowners, no vote.
Okay, this didn't deal with any of the problems we were talking about. This is completely unrelated.
Actually, it lowers the amount of people who can vote. Now, I think that we should make land more affordable to where everyone.
Wait. Brad Raffensperger is the Georgia Secretary of State, right? Because Brian Kemp was the governor. He was on the call.
Yeah, like I said, I think he was privy to it, but I don't think he was actually on the call. I don't know.
No, I think he was on the call. Can I go check? Like double check this?
Yeah, you can check. Yeah, because I could be wrong there.
Okay.
And no, it's not I'm not stating that women can't vote. I'm saying non-landowners can't vote, because just like in a company, you cannot vote on the future policies of said company if you're not a stock owner. I think non-landowners are not stock owners.
Okay, so it's literally referred to as the Trump-Raffensperger phone call. That's what its Wikipedia page says. So I think that's...
So no, who was actually on the call? Who was talking on the call?
Okay, well...
because Wikipedia is not a source, ever.
What? What do you mean I can't use Wikipedia as a source?
Because they don't
here's
good vetting.
Number one, they usually do, and not to mention you can check the citations. You can check the citations if there's an issue with factuality. If it's a citation needed, then obviously you should take that with a grain of thought. And if you question a claim, you can look at the citations they put there. So you can check the citations if you have a problem with something, and then make a request for it to be edited. Wikipedia is a fantastic resource. It just shouldn't, like, I understand like not sourcing it directly for like, I don't know, some essay or something, but like Wikipedia is a totally valid source. People just hate on Wikipedia because they've been brainwashed by their schools. Anyway, let me read this, just the first sentence. On January 2nd, 2021, during an hour-long conference call, then U.S. President Donald Trump pressured Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to change the state's election results from the 2020 presidential election. Like, so yes, he was on the call.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So I thought it was actually between him and Brian Kemp. Cool. So yes, so he was talking to the exact person that he needed to. Still no actual legal ramifications of that. I think when they go to indict him on that over in Georgia, I think an indictment will come. I don't think that there'll be a conviction.
Do you think if Donald Trump is president again, that he would be above trying to do something like this again?
Constitutionally, he couldn't do a third term. What would be his motivation?
He would do it for some other candidate. He can still, as like president, whoever would, I don't know, maybe President Kerry Lake.
Well, all I know is Trump is a petty man who does petty things. So the amount of eggshells
actually,
that Kerry Lake would have to walk on.
He acts a lot like a Ukrainian oligarch, unironically.
Well, I mean, He acts like a rich, spoiled man who is used to getting his way, and if he doesn't, he socially pressures him to get what he wants.
So you admit that it's something he does often?
I said he's a petty man.
Okay, so do you think that's what he was trying to do in the Brad Raffensperger call, calling the exact person that you would need to do this type of work? He's calling him, telling him the exact amount of votes he wants, you know? And then afterwards, after he doesn't do that and all that things that Trump was claiming ended up to kind of be bullshit, it wasn't enough to overturn anything, or there was nothing to it, he then now is known for going after Brad Raffensperger, saying that he didn't fix it, he didn't do the thing he wanted. Like, he's giving him the repercussions.
Vet who you vote for. All the more reason to vet who you vote for, man. You don't just give your vote away.
But doesn't this clearly indicate that he was trying to pressure him into finding him the votes necessary for him to win?
Pressuring someone is not a crime.
But you said earlier that he didn't pressure them to do it.
I didn't think that he was on the call. Oh. But you telling me that he was on the call, cool. He tried to pressure him. Still, what?
So that's bad. That's horrible. That's something that's dangerous.
So it's not ethical. It's not ethical. It's not dangerous to our democracy.
It's not dangerous to pressure election officials to make you win, even when you didn't win. To normalize that is not dangerous.
Because the election officials should have enough integrity to do the right thing.
We can't just bet on the integrity of one or two people. This is why we have systems.
When you vote for someone, what are you? But when you are voting for someone,
we have systems and checks and balances to deal with this.
We have laws. We have laws.
We have checks and balances.
And if there's no law broken, and yes, there are checks and balances. So if the results are honest and everything, the system worked, right?
Yeah, the system did work.
Okay,
but to be clear,
there's a problem. There's a problem with that. So he shouldn't be disqualified because he did something unethical.
Okay. Do you think that there was like do you think there was a major problem with like, I don't know, like Nazi Germany invading all of Europe and doing that? I assume you're going to say, of course. Does that mean it wasn't really a problem because we won